This is why you're struggling to get calls booked with your perfect clients. The secret lies in your ideal customer profile. In this video, I'll show you how to define your ICP and start attracting the clients who needs your product and services the most. We're diving into the power of your ideal customer profile. Your ICP is the key to unlock serious business growth, whether you're in the B2C or B2B market. I'm going to walk you through a simple process to get laser focused on your ideal buyer. By the end of this video, you would have a roadmap to start attracting your dream customers. So you might have heard of the terminologies ICP or ICA or custom avatar. Simply, they're all the same thing. The purpose of an ICP is to allow you to understand who your target audience are. Who are your market? What do they do? Where do they spend most of their time on? What's their demographics if it's B2B, B2C? What's their size if it's B2B? Who is marketing to them? What pain points are they facing? What's their desired state? The whole purpose is for, as a business owner, for you to be able to market and have targeted marketing focus on the right customers, speaking to the right people that need your services rather than wasting time and money speaking to people that don't really care and don't really have the pain points you're trying to solve. So let's dive right in. So the first thing you want to focus on is something I call meet your client. So what you want to do in this section is that you want to understand their demographics, lifestyle and preferences, understanding the client's background, demographics, their interests and their concerns to tailor your marketing strategies effectively. So you want to describe the current situation. So the purpose of describing the current situation is to grasp the client's pain points and struggles accurately. So you want to understand what they do daily and how are they feeling about this problem you're trying to solve. The next step is to describe the mess. What does this mean? What is the problem? How big is the problem? How deep is the problem? How serious is the problem? How far in? So what you're trying to do in this section is that you're trying to identify the gap between the perceived and the actual problems. Consumers have their perceived problems, and the perceived problems are always different to the actual problems. So you, as a business owner, as a marketer, you want to be able to identify the gaps between the perceived and the actual problems. And then once you've identified this, you will then be able to lay out what solutions have they tried. So you're trying to perceive, okay, what solutions have they tried in the past and why has this not worked out for them? In this section, if you might be thinking, oh, I'm not too sure, I don't know, I'm new to this space, this is an opportunity for you as a business owner or a marketer to be able to go and do market research. It's totally fine to speak to people, speak to customers, speak to people that you think are your customers and actually answer these questions. I actually prefer business owners, marketers going out to speaking to people and actually identifying, okay, cool, what's their perceived problem? What's their actual problem? What have they done to try and solve this problem? How has it worked out for them? Are they still facing the problem? Who has tried to solve these problems before in the past? So once you've identified and pretty much described the mess, as I'd like to call it, the next step is describing the desired situation. This is the fun bit, because you now, as a marketer, as a business owner, as a problem solver, in essence, you're to envision the ideal outcome for the client. What else in their life will improve? What areas of their life will be affected by this improvement and how? So you're now envisioning, you're now putting yourself in your customer's shoes, try and understand, okay, cool, what is their ideal outcome? What do they want? What's the solution for this actual problem? And the best way to actually validate and verify this question, this section, is actually speaking to customers. I've seen it in the B2B world, especially in the tech SaaS world, where we spoke to loads of clients, we did loads of market research, we did loads of questionnaires, and the consumers pretty much answered these questions for us. They told us exactly what they would like to desire. So we just now collected all of these together and summarized it and say, okay, cool, this is what we can build as either for your MVP or your POC. But this is all SaaS and B2B talk, so I'll try not to go into that too much. But I do have a framework and system that I've used and has allowed me to exit my last business that you can also use if you are in the B2B space. But predominantly for me, and my current consultancy business is focused on coaches, consultants, and agency owners. So this is pretty much what I take them through. And lucky for you, I also have the actual workshop questionnaire that I run through with the coaches that I work with to actually help them craft the perfect ICP. Some coaches already have their ICP. Some coaches that are already doing 10, 15, 50K a month already have their ICP, but it's always good to do a deeper dive and sort of audit what they have, but it's not compulsory. So before we go on to the B2B space, I just take you through the actual workshop and the questions that I like to give the coaches I work with to help them craft the perfect ICP. What you could also do is I'll leave a link in the description where you can freely download this PDF guide to help you craft your ICP, and hopefully that could be of help so you can fill it out, answer the question. But I'll quickly run through some of them. I won't go through all the questions, just so you can get a feel of what the PDF guide and what the actual workshop looks like that I take my coaches through. Okay, so here we're looking at actually answering the question. So when we talk about meet your client, what you want to do when it comes to B2C is you want to identify what's their occupation or their descriptive title. Where do they live? How old are they? What is their level of education? What have they accomplished? For instance, I'll give you an example. If your ideal customer clients are sales professionals or business professionals or business analysts, right? So you'd want to have on these questions, you could say sales reps. For instance, I'll just keep it short. Where do they live? You could say USA, UK, UAE, for instance. How old are they? You could then say 25 to 35. What's their level of education? You could say college or higher education. What have they accomplished? You could, for instance, say promotions. Spelling is not the greatest. And what you now see is that we're now defining the profile of our ideal customers. And it could be multiple things. As you know, an individual could have different titles. So by all means, list them all. You don't need to go too much. Top 3, top 4 titles is good enough. And what you then want to start doing is answering these questions. So what we were trying to do next is we're saying, tell us a little bit about your avatar. What do they do? How do they spend their week? What do they do? Where do they go to get their news? How much do they make? How do they feel about their job? What are their concerns in life? What aspects of their life or personality affects how you market your product to them? So this is in depth, and it's so important that you run through these questions and actually answer to the best of your knowledge. And if you don't know, speak to customers. I guarantee you someone in your network is your ideal customer or knows your ideal customer and would give you 15 minutes of their time just to run through this on a Zoom call. So these are the type of questions. There's loads. So I've gotten the PDF format. I'll leave a link in the description, and this is for you to go ahead and download and use it to help you craft the perfect ideal customer profile if you're in the B2C space. So this is quite interesting. This is B2B. So as you know, I am a tech founder. I have founded a few startups. I have failed loads of them. I exited my last lending business. And this was a strategy that we used to reach out to our ideal customer profiles. So we were in the B2B space. So I'll just take you through it and trying to give you an idea of the purpose of what we're doing here and the idea and the strategy itself. So first of all, great marketing is when more people know about you today than yesterday. This is important. So just take this in a little bit. Great marketing is when more people know about you today than yesterday. So you need to be in people's minds all the time, giving them more information, giving them more knowledge about what you're doing, more insights about what you're doing day by day by day. So the first thing you want to do before we actually go into the crafting of the ICP when it comes to B2B is you want to understand and you want to implement segmentation. So you want to identify what segment of the market do we want to be serving. So if you're in the B2B space, and also this is predominantly tailored around SaaS marketing strategy. So maybe you're a SaaS founder, or maybe you're starting a platform or an app type of business and you're servicing businesses. This is something that could also help you, and this is something that you could also utilize. I won't spend a lot of time on this because I know majority of my audience are not in B2B space, but just in case, this would be of use. So these are the type of questions you go through before actually going into your ICP. So segmentation would be the first one. What segment of the market do you want to be serving? Is it solo users, consumers, which is a person who is both a consumer or producer, small, medium-sized businesses? Is it mid-market businesses, little enterprise businesses where you identify and what size market do I want to target? What size of businesses do I want to target? What is your cost of sale? You should know this early on. What is your competitive dynamic? Who else is already playing in these different places? Are we going to be able to compete or not? These are the type of question you need to be asking. Then once you've done the segmentation, the next stage is targeting. What is our specific target? So what I like to do here, what I like to advise founders here is make a list of 100 companies that you're going to run ABM against. So what is you're going to make a list of your dream 100 companies that you'd like to have as your clients. Dream. So it could be Microsoft, Google, Instagram, Facebook. So this is the dream. So the purpose of this is to create where you'd like to get to, the best case scenario, the dream, and sort of work your way backwards. And it's very important. So then is your positioning. What is your value proposition? What's your strategic narrative? It can't just be about software. What impact? What problems? Our lives going to change when they're now using your software? What's going to happen? How do you differentiate from the competitors out there? Your edge. Then you need to be thinking about why you now. Great marketing is being specific, polarizing, consistent. You want to always make sure that your marketing is specific, polarizing, and consistent. Be specific on who your customer is. Be polarizing with your proposition. Make a unique point of view and take that stance and go to the market with it. And lastly, own it. Be consistent with it. And then rinse and repeat. So be specific with who your customer is. Be polarizing with your positioning. Make a unique point of view and take a stance on it. So be very passionate and then go to the market with it. And lastly, own it. Be consistent with it. Do it over and over and over again. Now we finally get on to the ideal customer profile. As you can see, when it comes to B2B, the marketing strategy for your ideal customer profile is slightly more in depth, slightly different. The way you're thinking is slightly different. And it's an interesting space compared to the B2C space. So, quite similar to the B2C space, what you want to do when crafting your ICP, you want to make it as small as possible. Identify your ICP. You want to niche even more. So niche down. So before actually go into your ICP, you want to earn the right to go after the other customers that you want. because the riches are in the niches. So you want to niche within your niche. So if, for instance, you have a SaaS business that is, for instance, so we had a project I'm working on right now is a business identify the perfect content creators based on their engagement data. So what we're doing is that we are reaching out to D2C brands on Shopify. So direct to consumer brands on Shopify. Those are our ICP. So we've identified our ICP, but before we actually go to that list, we need to now niche down within the niche. I won't go too much into this. If you find this section of the video interesting, do let me know, because I'm very much up for doing a deeper dive into my SaaS space in the B2B space, what we've done, the projects, and just taking you guys through that. So there are 3 filters to identifying your ICP. Do they have an urgent problem now? Do they have an early adopter mindset? They have to have a budget for what you're proposing. So the basics of an ICP is dream customers, as we spoke about, the industry, the size, the revenue, geographic, where are they based, the products and services they're currently paying for, the roles and ambitions. So who are the key strategic people, the decision makers within the business that you want to reach to, you want to actually target. So who are the gatekeepers? And as a bonus are the triggers. So triggers is what new changes occurred that would help drive your unique point of view. Is it new leaders, and are there new leaders in the space? Have they fundraised? Have they maybe missed a quarter? They've not done well on their financials and they now need a solution like yours, or new job listings. So once you've done that, you also want to identify macro trends, things that are happening in the broader world that would impact these companies. Find stats, find statistics. This will help a lot with your email marketing outreach. And then you're implementing your ICP. So there's more, as you can see, there's more stuff, but I'll just keep this on ICP. The marketing strategy is broad, it's big, it's in depth, and it works. So you want to bit more practical. So as I said, implementing your ICP, take your ICP, codify it, make your Dream 100. So Dream 100 is your ideal list of 100 customers. Scrape the internet, build out your CRM with the following. So the company information, the roles, the emails, contacts and triggers. And then this is predominantly what you're going to use to then craft your messaging to start doing outreach, email outreach, cold outreach, organic outreach on LinkedIn, on different platforms where your customers spend most of their time. Create a table that measures the ICP versus non-ICP. Over time, you have data to look back at, and you want to identify revenue, win rates, ACV, and time it's taken to actually close the deal. And this is just feedback and data is given you as a marketer, as a business owner, as a founder to understand. And also you want to incentivize people to go and target your ICP list. By paying them more, you now have the data and the stats to back it from step 2. And this is for your reps. So this is where you'd hire someone to do scraping, to identify or scrape some leads on LinkedIn and actually make sure that you get the targeted ideal customer profiles that you're trying to solve a problem for. So we've come to the end of this workshop, come to the end of this video. I hope you found this useful. Drop it a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.